So for those of you who used last night's game plan, you should have had a phenomenal green day today buying SPY put options for an overall bearish trend day. I made it very, very clear towards the middle of the game plan as I did more of an in-depth price action analysis on the SPY that I was leaning more towards an overall bearish trend day. In terms of the strategy that I told you to use with the overall bearish trend day, it was the breakdown and retest, which is when the SPY cracks a key support level and it spikes back up to retest, attempting to form lower highs, and you're going to want to be buying put options on that retest if you're seeing the resistance in the red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmations and patterns forming at the breakdown and retest level, which is the inverse of the breakout and retest strategy where you can buy calls on a breakout and a retest. With that being said, the levels that I gave you to buy put options to use the breakdown and retest strategy started with the lowest level at 549, and then the second level was 555, and then the third zone was 561 to 563. In terms of how the market played out, we did end up having a drop under 549, retesting towards that overall first level that I gave you, which was the exact highs towards the day. And then we had a strong bearish trend day maintaining below the breakdown and retest strategy once it formed those lower highs and reacted as clear resistance with bearish confirmations. Absolutely no reason to be buying call options when we break below 549, the breakdown retest strategy, retest, form resistance, and then proceed to go lower and form lower highs throughout the day. Therefore, losing was a personal choice. In terms of Team Roar, we ended up going 10 for 12 on the day, making multiple 100% profit returns, buying SPY calls and SPY put options, trading the SPY both ways. In terms of tonight's game plan, it is expected to be very lucrative, very predictable compared to in terms of yesterday. This one is expected to be even higher confidence and a lot more predictability and very lucrative. I'm going to get straight into the game plan. And then in terms of the end of this video, I'm going to be breaking down the trades that we ended up having on the day. Like I said, we had 10 wins, only 2 losses, trading 0-8 options, making multiple 100% profit returns on SPY. So let's get into the game plan, man. This is what I want you to be aware of. In terms of how the daily candlestick closed, we ended up closing at a very bearish pin. When the SPY gaps down like this, and it has this top wick right here, and it closes directly weak at the lows, that is overall bearish, especially on an overall gap down, right? We didn't even have a small push up into the close where the SPY could potentially form a bottom wick. Therefore, in terms of overall confirmations, this is extremely bearish, and this is lacking signals for an overall recovery. In terms of how I can see a bullish recovery, the main shot that the bulls have heading into tomorrow is they need to turn the previous day lows, 536.70, or even better, they need to gap up. If that cannot occur where they turn 536.70 into support, or if we don't gap up, overall, it's going to be another hard sell-off day. And in terms of how the market is currently reacting, we are experiencing a small gap down, right? Now, in terms of the levels that I told you to auto buy calls, I made it very clear, man, the levels you're going to want to keep an eye on calls was at that gap. If you go back historically, there was a gap that was waiting to fill below right here on the SPY towards this 540 to 539 level. That was literally the auto buy zone for call options, and we did end up playing calls towards that overall zone, and the SPY did end up having a very nice bounce towards the auto buy call zone, especially once it formed that first green bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmation at the 539 to 540 gap close reversal, quickly spiking to 546, then forming lower highs at this previous breakdown support level, crashes, retest, right? Then sells off and flips bearish again once the red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation forms bearish, right? So in terms of the market, man, I want you to understand that the way we closed, this is like a super bearish daily candlestick. It really doesn't get more bearish than this when you're having this massive gap down, bearish pin. I mean, you can look right here. We had such strong support. Look at this support, man. Like, this is so fucking bearish. Look at the support right here. We had all of this support at 549, all of this support at 547, where we had massive bear traps quickly going to 560 to 568, right? Well, not only did we gap down and go under that previous support, but we retested today and turned it into key resistance, and we closed directly at the lows with the most bearish daily candlestick. I am well aware in terms of last night's game plan that I did state, you can consider swing trading call options directly before the market closes if it does close bearish. But in terms of how we closed, I did decide to hold off on that overall trade idea. And the reason why was this was the most bearish daily candlestick possible. If you looked at the pattern I showed you, this is what I was looking for. I was looking for a small spike. If the market had a small spike where it had this bearish pin facing to the upside, then the next day, especially if it gaps up, it was going to be a strong bullish trend day, right? This was the overall pattern, plus the weekly chart stated that we could potentially bounce 10 points from the overall lows. And in terms of that bounce, it ended up bouncing towards the pre-market lows of yesterday. You guys are well aware that we had the after-hour lows towards 542, and the auto buy level was towards 539 to 540 gap, and 542 was key support for a bounce. That trade idea ended up working out for calls. But guys, in terms of the swing trade, I'm going to be very honest with you. Heading into tomorrow, if we can't quickly turn 536.70 into support, it's going to be an overall bearish trend day. And in terms of to be a very bullish, high confident trend day, we need a gap up. If we gap up, I am so fucking bullish. But as long as we are staying under the previous day lows, and especially if we're not gapping up, I am very fucking bearish heading into tomorrow, especially if we gap down. Now, I want to go back throughout the chart history, because you guys are well aware with my strategy. You have to analyze how patterns repeat themselves all the time. Like I said, in terms of how the daily candlestick closed, it really swayed me away from swing trading overall calls and holding back on that idea, even though I was planning to do that, because it's just the way it closed was the most bearish daily candlestick, and it was turning all the key support levels into support, and it was turning all the key breakdown retest level support. We couldn't even get a small spike into the close, and it was the most bearish daily gap down where the previous key breakdown support spiked back up and retested and reacted as a clear resistance level. Now, with that being said, I want to go back historically and just show you throughout the past how the SPY has reacted when it has formed that daily candlestick that I did just end up showing you. So you can see right here, this is the same daily candlestick. This is the same daily candlestick. So in this situation, if we open up with a gap down, it's going to be like yesterday, where it's just short the pops. Short the pops, look for key support to crack, look for a nice 2 to 3 point plus pullback, quick overreaction to the downside, spike back up, quick overreaction to the upside, short the breakdown retest level, the previous support where it cracked and, sold off 2 to 3 points plus. Keep on doing that, rinse and repeat for a bearish close, right? So you can see this daily candlestick is identical. This daily candlestick is identical. As long as we are continuing to gap down, continuing to stay under the previous day lows, not gapping up, it's gonna be overall bearish fucking Friday, man. So if you just went back historically throughout the chart history, it should have been a major red flag to be swing trading call options in a sense, because it didn't have that pin. I was willing to swing trade calls on a bearish trend day, but it didn't have any signs of a reversal. Like I was looking for some sort of pin. Like you can see, this is a red pin facing to the upside. That's potentially bullish for the next day in that situation with the pattern I showed you. But when you have a red pin facing to the downside and it's closing directly at the lows, that's very fucking bearish, man. So that's what you need to understand about the SPY. Super fucking bearish if we're gapping down or if we're staying under previous day lows. Now, super fucking bullish if we can quickly spike above the previous day lows and turn that into support, right? 536.70, and very bullish, most bullish if we are gapping up. So the game plan is going to be so fucking simple. Now, in terms of simplicity, I would say in terms of making this game plan at night before, the market opens, day before the market opens, it's a lot more simple to identify where to buy call options than it is to buy put options. So let's start off with the calls. I'm mainly only bullish if the SPY gaps up. For me to be extremely bullish, we need to open above 536.70. So if the SPY gaps up, if we open above 536.70, then I'm going to be buying call options towards the break and retest levels. So what would be the key levels, right? This is what I want you to be aware of, man. These are going to be the overall major levels that you need to be keeping your eyes on. So above 537, what's the next resistance level? The next level is going to be towards 538.90. So the overall zone is going to be 538 to 538.90. That's the first zone. Now, once we break above that 539 and turn that into support, the next move is a strong bullish breakout to 546. If we go above that, react to support, the next move is a strong move to 549. Above that, is 551. Above that is going to be 555. Above that is going to be 560 to 561. If the market is gapping up, I really have no interest in doing put options. It's going to attempt to close strong and bullish if we're gapping up, especially if we're maintaining above the previous day lows, previous closing price, heading into tomorrow. Now, there are some levels where you can consider scalping puts against the trend. It could be the higher breakdown and retest levels that have not been tested that I provided in last night's video, which would be 555. But in terms of this overall system on an overall bullish trend day, if we're gapping up, it's best to just go with the highest overall zone, which would be in between 561 to 563. If you're seeing bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmations in between the zone, you can attempt to scalp puts. Just be aware it could be against the overall trend where SPY keeps on pushing higher. And the main focus is going to be call options if we're gapping up at the lower breakout and retest levels, right? So in terms of the levels, like I said, the lowest one is towards 538 to 539 zone, a push above 539. That's when the SPY finally sees that massive breakout you're looking for as a bull if previous day lows react to support, or even better as a bull if we're gapping up. That's my strong bullish confirmation heading tomorrow for a bullish trend day if we're gapping up, not necessarily if previous day lows is reacting to support, especially if the SPY has a big drop under that. If we have a massive fucking drop under that and we're going back to previous day closing price, I'm going to need a strong break, strong bullish confirmations, because the SPY already dropped a fuck ton and it could potentially react as a resistance and flip throughout the day and drop back towards those overall lows. Like I said, man, for me to be extremely bullish, we need to maintain towards 537, not really drop too much below, but ideally to be most bullish, we need a gap up. Just understand, man, this 539 level is going to be fucking crazy. 539 reacts as a resistance, you're looking at a massive move to the downside. Reacts to support, you're looking at a massive move to the upside. But as long as we're opening up flat, as long as we're not dropping too much under 537, the SPY is technically considered bullish, maintaining around 537. Super fucking bullish. Buy calls with ease in a sense, lack of confirmations, just kind of get in. If we gap up, the gap up would be a strong confirmation where I would consider just kind of auto buying in between the range of 538, 539. Massive fucking move happens at 539. As long as we're maintaining above previous day lows 537, we are technically considered bullish, but the gap up is really the best confirmation you can use in that sense. If we're not gapping up and we're not really dropping below 537, then as long as we're maintaining around 537, we are still considered bullish. But for that massive breakout, we need to break above 539, drop back down, turn into support, push to 546. So the break and retest levels, like I said, 537.50, 537.50 to 538, 539. Next one above that, you could say is like 542. Next one above that, you could say is like 543.50. I would not go above that in terms of like entries and buying. The only way I would consider, this is another tip I give you, if you want to buy a break and retest level later into the day, this is what I would recommend. Not only the best 30-minute candlestick confirmations that I've been teaching you, like, the simple green, red, green, break and retest support pattern, but what I would recommend is overreactions. This is how I like buying calls on overbought levels, right? So 546, that's major resistance. But if the SPY broke above 546 and it had like a 3-point plus spike, so what I'm saying is a quick overreaction to the upside, the bigger the move, the better. And then the quicker the fall, the better. This is what I call the king of the fall. If you want to be the king of the fall on a bullish trend day, you need a strong break above a resistance level. It's more ideal on an oversold level, but the key is just an overreaction. It doesn't necessarily have to be at an oversold level. It could be at a higher level. If you're getting like a fucking 3 to 6 point breakout at major resistance and then it drops right the fuck down, if you want to be the king of the fall, you buy the dip automatically as soon as it retests that previous level. The key to that, the bigger the breakout, the better. The quicker the spike and the quicker the fall back down, the better. And that's how you can be the king of the fall in a sense, using the breakout and retest strategy on levels that aren't considered oversold, more of just overreactions to the upside, overreactions to the downside, where a quick reversal will likely happen, where you can just kind of auto buy in a sense. That is the game plan for calls. And I also provided to you levels where you can look to scalp puts against an overall bullish closing trend day. Now, let's discuss puts, because in terms of the daily chart pattern, the daily chart pattern is stating that tomorrow is going to be extremely bearish if we gap down, if we maintain below 537. It's going to be a bit more difficult in terms of the levels, right, compared to the game plan that I gave you on calls in terms of a night before in advance. But this is what I can provide to you, and this is what I can state. So if we're opening up with a gap down, the market is likely going to be extremely bearish, right? In terms of a break of trend, it would need to not drop down too much below 537, and it needs to stay above 537 throughout the whole day for bulls to have a shot. But for that true breakout on bulls, not only does it need to stay above 537, but it needs to push above 539. That's why I'm saying, man, bulls' best chance with the overall pattern is just that gap up. But in terms of bears, what I did was to get some of these levels that I'm going to be explaining to you. Before I made this video, I went back throughout the 180-day 30-minute chart to get some precise levels, to be extremely precise in this overall situation, right? So sometimes on the videos, I'll kind of just do them literally just going through it the first time. And then sometimes I'll be a little bit more prepared in advance where you can kind of just see everything it is that I'm doing. I mean, if I wanted to, I can go back throughout the 180, 30-day chart and show you exactly what I was looking at. But look, man, I'm just going to make this very short, simple, and sweet. This is what I want you to understand. So we closed at 536.70, super bearish daily candlestick. These are previous breakdown and retest levels, support, 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 massive gap down. The high is literally at the previous support. That's a breakdown and retest, right? If this level right here cracks and does not react as a support, instead of this massive fucking bullish trend day, it's going to be a massive fucking bearish trend day. That's why, in a sense, puts was so simple to just be buying puts. Because if you looked at the level was right fucking here. I told you 549, and you could see we blew straight through 549, went to 542, reacted as a resistance. And if you just looked at the pre-market, all it was doing is form lower highs. This right here is support at 548.50. This is a breakdown. This is a retest with a lower high, red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation. This is another breakdown. This right here is a retest at the previous support, red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation. Oh, and another thing. When SPY formed this red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation at a breakdown retest level today, what did it start to do? It started to drop. So here we go. Red, green, red, bearish pattern. The high of this is towards the previous support right here. And this is the same 30-minute candlestick. So if you use the red, green, red pattern with the overall breakdown and retest strategy, you could have been buying put options at this lower level at 546 instead of trying to wait towards 549, just following the overall bearish trend that was stated within the pre-market using the curriculum that I'm providing to you. So if you use the curriculum, that's why you should have been in on put options right here at the lower levels at 10 a.m. If you use the curriculum, you didn't have to wait for the higher levels. You could have just gotten at the lower levels and fucking banked. I mean, just look at that overall trend, man. That fucking trend is beauty. Keep capturing 30-minute patterns. The history is going to repeat itself 8 to 9 out of 10 times. Go back throughout the 10-day 30-minute chart. When you're doing this, the short-term patterns tend to work better than going further back, and just capture trends, capture patterns with breakdowns, retest, breakouts, retest with those overall strategies and gap close reversals. So let's get into the levels, man. This is what I want you to understand. So in terms of the SPY, if you look at the overall chart, right, this is what you need to be aware of. So 539, this was a gap close reversal zone. We're now below that. So the next level is 536.70. So if the SPY goes under 536.70, where's it going to go? It's going to fill the gap. The SPY has been bouncing at every single oversold gap when it's first tested, even on bearish trend days, meaning it bounces first at the level, then it spikes, then it forms lower highs at the previous breakdown and retest level, then it starts to sell off lower if it's a bearish trend day. So the point is, on a bearish trend day, we could potentially bounce first at 533. So you can keep an eye on this, but be extremely careful because like I said, especially if we're gapping down, it's going to likely overall just be a strong bearish trend day. We're going to want to sway away from calls. 533, it's going to attempt to bounce first, but if we're gapping down, super fucking bearish, be very careful. I'm buying calls at 533, right? It's not too far away from the previous closing price. And if we have a massive drop under 533 and spike back up, then you're just going to want to be buying puts. Trend is more than proven to be bearish, especially with the gap down that situation. So the next level we drop to is 533, right? In terms of the next level we go to below that, it's going to be 528.50. 528.50 is the next level below that. This right here, you can see it's like towards the middle of this daily candlestick. So I went back throughout the 180-day, 30-minute chart, 526.40, right? Next level below that is going to be 522.90. Next level below that is going to be 521.60. So this is an overall zone, 522.90 to 521.80. Next level below that is going to be the gap close reversal. If we dropped that fucking low, I would be auto buying calls 522 to 521 zone. I'd be auto buying calls at 519. Just to understand, market can close bearish. Next level below that is going to be at another gap, 517.40. So we got three gaps. We got a gap right here at 533. We got a gap right here at 518.70. And we got a gap right here at 517.30. Best gaps are going to be the lower ones towards this overall zone. Like I said, if we're seeing a strong pullback below 533, wait for it to spike back up. Look to automatically short the retest for a bearish trend day. Be extremely cautious, even though we can bounce first at 533 for buying calls. Understand, bearish gap down is an extremely bearish confirmation. Now, I will quickly go back to you. And just show you in terms of like what it is that I was looking at on this 180 30-minute chart with the overall levels, and just to show you, more of a more micro overall look on the strategies that I was looking at, right? So I use the daily chart, and then sometimes throughout the daily chart, I get more micro levels by going back throughout like the 180-day 30-minute chart. Usually don't have to go further back than that in terms of like day trading. But if you just take a look at the levels, man, see, this is why you have to go back. Look, the daily chart didn't give me this information. So it's a good thing that I'm breaking this down. It's also a good thing that, get some more preparation before I make the videos. Just makes it more smoother and stuff like that. But it is interesting to see just kind of me, doing this raw in a sense, literally just showcasing you exactly how my mind sees it the first time. But like I said, I did go back a little bit, before I made this video to get these overall levels. But look, if you are aware of this overall strategy that I've been mentioning, when the SPY has an oversold key support level during the extended hours trading session, which could be the pre-market or the after hours trading session, right? What you need to understand is if it's an oversold level and it has never been retested and the SPY just keeps on going up, when it tests for the first time during normal trading hours, it's going to try to bounce first. So what I'm telling you is, man, look at all the support. Extended hours support at 529, extended hours support at 528.20. And this was during extended hours, highlighted in the gray here. Right here in the black, this is the normal trading hours. So the point is, we had such strong support right here towards this 528 to 529. I mean, in a sense, we never really retested. We almost retested right here, getting to the low of this. We did end up retesting towards that, but still, it's like this level right here. I'm telling you, on a bearish trend day, we are very likely to bounce first at this level. So if you want to try a quick scalp against the overall trend on a bearish trend on a gap down, this would be one of the best levels, 528. Very, very likely, based off the overall strategies in the oversold situation and just the overall trend with the market, where it's been having these strong bounces when it tests these extended hours levels for the first time after having an overreaction to the upside and then an overreaction to the downside, even on a bearish trend day, very likely we bounce first at 528. So if you want, you could take it as an auto buy, or you can use bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmations if you want to be more careful, because it could be a very strong bearish closing trend day. But I'm telling you, very likely we bounce first at 528. So the overall strategy with that is strong key overall support that was formed during extended hours. It was never retested during normal trading hours, and the SPY had such a massive move to the upside, and it quickly lost all of those gains, crashing back down at the speed of light. Therefore, it's likely to bounce first. That's what we would call an overreaction to the upside, overreaction to the downside. When the level tests for the first time during normal trading hours that was formed during extended hours, it's likely to bounce first. That's one of the strategies that I've created, and it works extremely well. So 528 for those of you who want to buy overall calls against the overall potential bearish trend. Now, if we dissect this even more, right? This right here is going to be a crazy fucking level. Look at this, man. And this is why you need to go back to the 30-minute chart, because the daily chart isn't going to give you some of these levels that I'm showing you. Some of these levels are during extended hours. Some of these levels are in the middle of the daily candlesticks, which for the most part is fairly useless unless there's a strong pattern. But I'm telling you, man, like I'll find levels on the daily chart, but it's mainly just based off of patterns if it's the middle. If not, then just highs and lows with strategies. But look at this. This is another major level that you need to pay attention to heading into tomorrow. So look, if 523, this is the next level below. If we go under 528, we go to 523. Look at this. 523, very likely to bounce first. But if it cracks and reacts as a resistance later, look at the fall, man. It's going to go all the way down to fill the gaps, and then it's going to reverse at the gaps. And you have all this key overall support during extended hours that has not been tested. So look at this, man. Go under 523, go under 528, right? Bounce first. Then we go to 523. bounce first at 523. If we go under 523, then we drop all the way down to fill the gaps. There's a gap right here that hasn't been filled at 518.60. There's a gap right here that hasn't been filled at 517. Auto buy calls at 517 to 518. We can likely bounce first at 523, and we can likely bounce first at 528. The highest level where we can likely bounce first is at 533. But if we gap down, 533 can be an amazing level to buy put options because it's the highest level. If we drop under 533, react as a resistance, buy the fucking puts. I'm telling you, man, these are the best fucking levels possible, man. Nobody's giving you these levels because they're not dissecting the daily chart. Me dissecting the daily chart with the 30-minute candlesticks, this is fucking golden, man. Look at the brackets. So understand, I gave you the most likely outcomes on what's going to happen with the bearish and bullish trend days and what to look for. But at the end of the day, in terms of trading as well, you need to react accordingly, not just blindly trade the information that I'm giving you and confirm things with the confirmations that I'm teaching you, but also understand the brackets. Do you see how wide these brackets are with the massive moves, right? The moves are so massive. Contracts are priced a lot higher now as well. But look, man, these are high brackets. 528 to 520. Okay, so 533 to 528. Right? That's a 5-point bracket. 533 to 528, that's a 5-point bracket. 528 to 523, that's a 5-point bracket. 523 to 518 to 517, 5 to 6-point bracket. These are massive fucking brackets. So all you need to do is confirm if it reacts as, resistance or reacts as support first. But what I'm telling you is, at these lower brackets, what's likely going to happen is instead of just flushing through 533, we could just flush through because it's the highest level on an overall bearish trend day if we got down. But the most likely outcome is we bounce first at 528, 523, 518, 517, right? Bounce first at all those fucking zones. But like I said, man, if you are seeing the SPY on a bearish trend day, drop below 533, drop below 528, drop below 523, drop below, those three zones, you're seeing a drop and then it spikes back up. Buy the fucking puts if there's bearish reactions forming the lower highs. Those are massive brackets. Massive wide brackets like this is how you make massive profits. Sometimes the brackets are small where it's only like 1 to 2 points and then you have to keep on, using confirmations to confirm, okay, is this next support level going to react as support or resistance, right? You guys are well aware in terms of all the fucking levels, right? No matter what, in a sense, if it reacts bullish, it goes to the next level. If it reacts bearish, then it goes down to the next level. But there are a real thing in terms of most likely outcomes. It is a real thing in terms of strategies. It is a real thing in terms of auto buy levels, right? But you're well aware, if we react to support, we go up to the next bracket. If we react as a resistance, you go up to the next bracket. But on a bearish trend day, the most likely outcome is we bounce first at the lower brackets. Then once we go below the brackets, if we spike back up on the retest, short the fucking pops. Short the bounces, short the pops. This information I'm giving you is fucking golden, man. Look, if you use this game plan, I'm telling you, man, look, you can tell. In terms of the predictability, the levels, you can tell. I have a lot more confidence in this one compared to yesterday. The biggest issue I had with yesterday was in terms of making the game plan a night before advance. Like I said, in terms of the morning, we're well more aware on like the best situation, what to do in certain situations. But in terms of last night, like you can tell it really took me towards like the middle and towards the end of the video to just be extremely fucking confident on puts. But like I said, man, in terms of how we are setting up, it's looking like it's going to be so easy and so lucrative to make money heading into tomorrow if you trade the way we trade zero dates, right? So use those game plans, use those informations, and make sure you're trading the way we trade zero dates. The most you put in is your max risk per trade, your R multiple. Most traders have an R multiple, their max risk per trade. It could be a couple % of your account, which you put in to the overall trade, right? And then they set a stop loss, right? And then they get stopped out and they lose, right? And they need that stop loss because they're typically sizing in very, very fucking heavy where they can't afford to lose, more than one R multiple. With us, our R multiple is our max risk per trade. The most we lose is what we put into our option trade, right? So the most we put in is our max risk per trade, which is our R multiple. So we just let the contracts expire worthless and go to zero if the trade doesn't work out. 70% of the time, we're down 90% on a play, it comes back to life and goes in the money. When we are green, we set a profit stop. When we are green, we tend to add to winners. When we add to winners, we set the profit stop, we move the profit stop up higher to ensure that we keep the bulk of our overall gains, right? If the market has a big pullback against us, we're not going to get back the vast majority of our gains because we're moving our profit stop up higher to ensure if that occurs, we're profit stopped out in between the move rather than the whole pullback, right? So if you just do that with the information I provided to you, I'm very, very confident you should have a strong, overall bullish trend day, man, because I'm telling you, based off of how we're setting up, man, it's looking like it's going to be a very simple, easy day to trade. And it's giving a lot more higher confidence than yesterday. And even with yesterday's game plan, it ended up being out very fucking simple. It was just a lower 549 breakdown and retest level. And the confirmations were right here to go with the lower levels. You were well aware the next level is 546. Why go with the lower level? Because all the SPY was doing was cracking below previous support, retesting. The highs at a retest was previous support, cracks, reacts as a resistance, right? Look at this, man. This is so simple. This is how you should have viewed the market. You're well aware 549 was a breakdown and retest level where if it reacts bearish, it's going to be a strong bearish trending. We're going to be buying puts. So 549 reacted as a resistance, right? For fucking hours. That's bearish. Where's all the support? The support is the bottom of these candles. This is your support. Where's the breakdown, which is the crack of the support? This is the crack. This is the breakdown. Where's the spike? Where's the retest? This is the spike. This is the retest, right? The high of the retest is at the previous lows of these 30-minute candles, which was the previous support, where once it cracked, it triggered the breakdown in retest. Now look at this overall pattern. Where's your new support? Your new support is where it bottomed before retesting that previous support that I just showed you where it formed lower highs. This is your new support. This is your breakdown. This is your retest, which is towards the highs of this previous support. Now look at the 30-minute chart. When the SPY formed this red bearish wick, what did it do? It started to sell off. When the SPY forms this red bearish wick, what did it do? It starts to sell off. So when this is red and bearish, you go with the slightly lower level, and it literally topped at 548, literally right towards the 549 level, right? So you buy and put options towards the opening of this 30-minute candlestick, and then what you're doing is you set in profit stops, you move in profit stops, and again, you don't have to attach your entire position size to your profit stop. You can have like 70 to 80% of your position size in your profit stop, and then you can leave the other 20 to 30% of your position size detached from your profit stop to just run. Just make sure that that doesn't go red, because we don't go green to red, man. So that's what you need to look for heading into tomorrow, and look for the red, green, red. Look, the pattern was there. I teach you all the time, man. We keep things very simple over here. Trading is very, very simple with the curriculum. You should be going green and printing at the speed of light. Every single game plan that I've given you this week has worked out absolutely phenomenal, and the curriculum is speaking for itself. I will continue to manifest this curriculum, and it will continue to repeat itself at the speed of light. But at the end of the day, we have to hold ourselves accountable to be self-sufficient to capture this curriculum in real time, right? This is support. This is a crack. Red, green, red is bearish. This is a bearish candle. This is a bearish. Next 30 minutes is bearish. Next 30 minutes is bearish. 548 was towards the top. 549 breakdown retest. You should have been bearish at 10 a.m. with us. Now, that's how you should have traded in terms of the overall situation on the overall market at the morning. And then you can see right here, look, this is previous support, right? This is a massive pullback. This is where it bounced at the auto buy call level, 539 to 540. This is the spike. This is an hour of resistance. Red bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation, hour of resistance at the breakdown and retest level. And then it sells off and flushes lower, right? This is the new breakdown retest level. It cracks 540, forms a new roof with a bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation, continues to sell off. Look for that tomorrow if we're gapping down or staying below 537. Look for that every single fucking day. I tell you, for the levels, in terms of bearish reactions, it's so fucking simple, man. Look, red, green, red. Previous support, crack, red, green, red. Break down, crack, support, spike back up, retest, red, green, red, buy puts on the opening of the 30-minute candlestick. So that's what you need to look for every single day. Keep your trading simple. It's not going to look that simple every single day. And what I'm telling you is, in terms of my curriculum, wait for it to look that simple. Wait for it to look that no-brainer. You should be looking at the patterns and looking at the setups, and you should be going, dude, this has happened before. History's going to repeat itself. The confirmation is there. I'm going to capture this trend in real time. If you are not confident in the confirmation and the pattern that is forming, and we're at the levels and the strategy's playing out, don't take the trade, man. I'm trying to make you the most self-sufficient and profitable I can possibly make you in terms of these overall videos that I'm providing to you in this sense. So keep things super simple. If the market doesn't look super simple, wait for it to become super simple. There's been weeks where all the curriculum that I teach disappeared. I was like, where did it fucking go? And if you are not aware that it's disappearing and you trade with unawareness, you're going to get results that yield unawareness, which is fucking random, which is fucking shit results compared to what you would normally get. So you need to have heightened awareness and your eyes open and your mind sharp at all fucking times at the levels with the curriculum. Losing's a personal choice. Now, I'm going to show you in terms of the trades that we ended up making. You guys are well aware, we have the best real-time zero-date options trading alert system on the planet. This is not just buy and sell alerts. This is a real-time zero-date options trading alert system. Take a look. The first trade on the day was a massive win. Everybody knows the market open trades in Team Roar tend to be massive wins. If we do end up having a red session during the market open, we will make it back vast majority of the time during the power hour trading session and more. So we ended up buying 556 SPY calls at 53 cents a contract at 9:31 a.m., right? So if you go to 556 SPY calls at 9:31 a.m., you're going to see right here, this is where we bought these SPY calls. We got in right here. As you can see, it's trading at 51 to 61 cents on this 1 minute candle. In 2 minutes, it went to 85 cents. 50 to 85 is a massive percentage win, especially within 2 minutes. When we are up 15%, we set a profit stop to make sure that we don't go green to red. Sometimes we add to winners if it makes sense to double to triple the gains. We move the profit stops up higher to ensure that if we lose our gains just as fast as we made them, that we get profit stopped out for the bulk of the move. Sometimes it goes straight up where we don't get profit stopped out till it's up 100 to 500%. Sometimes it goes straight back down like it did, but we're profit stopped out because when we enter the trade and we're up 15%, we set the profit stops. Make sure you're using the information that I'm providing to you if you want to print at 0 dates, because I'm telling you, we have over a decade of experience, right? And in terms of the zero-date options trading alert system, this is the best system you're ever going to fucking find on the planet with zero-date options. And I'm telling you, in terms of the system that we created, right, just to keep things short, simple, and sweet, there's no stop losses. We hold the trades. Our max risk per trade is what we put into the trade. The most we lose is what we put in, which is our max risk per trade. We double to triple our position sizes by adding to winners and setting the profit stops. Therefore, if you set a profit stop and you're green on a trade, going green to red is no longer an option. You get profit stopped out for profit. Doubling to tripling your position size, just double to triple your gains, right? And we quickly add to winners, which means if we're up like 5 to 20% and we see an opportunity to add to the winner using 1 minute chart confirmation, or if it just makes sense in general, we quickly add to the winners, right? And then we move the profit stops up higher to ensure that if the market does have a big move against us, where our contracts go up 30, 40, 50, 100% within minutes, which happens all the time if we time it right? It can quickly lose all those gains just as fast as it went up if it doesn't keep going in our direction. Sometimes it keeps going in direction, sometimes it doesn't. When it keeps going in direction, we keep moving the profit stop up higher. When it doesn't go within our direction, we're still moving our profit stop up higher. Therefore, we get profit stopped out for the overall bulk of the move instead of stomaching that massive pullback where we where we can lose the vast majority of our gains if we didn't move that profit stop up higher. So, as you could see, that was a massive fucking win. And it's a good thing we're setting those profit stops because that was the exact highs within 2 minutes and it sold right back off. And then the contracts ended up closing at 1 cent. But if you use our system that we created, which is not just buy and sell alerts, setting profit stops, no stop losses, holding the trades, and the trade's either going to go zero and expire worthless, or it's going to go up 15%. And when you're up 15%, you're going to set that profit stop. And when you set that profit stop, sometimes we're going to add to winners to double to triple the gains. Sometimes we're not going to do that, but we're going to move that profit stop up higher to ensure that we don't get back the bulk of our gains on that pullback. Sometimes it's going to go straight up multiple 100%. Then we get profit stopped out, keeping the vast majority of those gains. Sometimes it's going to go straight back down, but we still get profit stopped out for a nice win. Use what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, in terms of far out zero-date options, there's no better other system. That's the best fucking system possible. And we trade SPX from 3:30 to 4 p.m. because it's cheap and low risk and it yields much bigger gains than SPY during that time, right? We trade SPY before because it's cheap and low risk. SPX doesn't become cheap and low risk up until 3:30 p.m., right? Where you can yield multiple 1,000% returns. And another thing in terms of our system that you need to be aware of is when we are down 90% on a play, let's say we buy a contract at $1, $100 a contract, right? If it goes to 10 cents, 70% of the time we are down. 90% on a play, it comes back to life and it goes green. So if you just hold the trades instead of trying to figure out the 3 times where it's not going to come back to life, trying to be right in a situation where it doesn't make sense trying to be right, where you can just hold the trades, put the odds in your favor, put the win rate in your favor, put the statistics in your favor, and also have the understanding those trades that drop 90%, it could be a play that goes up 300 to 500%, right? Hold the trades, but also this is our edge. We don't add to losers. I explained to you that we add to winners, but what we do as well is we do this. We buy a second strike. When we're confident in a play and we didn't time it accurately, as we're holding the loser, which comes back to life 70% of the time, and we don't get stopped out, what we do is we buy a second strike. The second strike tends to be timed a lot better, a much greater entry during a later time with a different strike, typically aligned with the same side of the first strike, just a different strike price. It tends to explode like fucking crazy and yield massive gains. The gains are going to be much bigger than that previous strike. So another tip I can give you is if you have a very small account, if you want, you can try back testing a system or back testing a separate account where when you see we're down 90% on a play, just wait for us to take the next trade. And if that next trade's on the same side of the original side, just a different strike, try taking that one. That's a good recommendation for small accounts in a system if you want to back test that. I mean, the people with medium to large accounts, they'll take both because they look at it as it's an extra win, but not only is it an extra win, right? Because if we're right about the trend, which is what we do, we trade the trend. That's why when we hold these plays, they can come back to life from 90% to go up multiple 100% because we're trading the fucking trend, right? And we have the whole day to hold the contracts, and we are going far the money where they're cheap and low risk, but not far enough to where they're not going to go out deep in the money, right? But another reason why large accounts will not do that is because they understand that sometimes the first play we take is going to be the one that prints like crazy, and there's going to be no second strike, right? So I'm just saying, if you want to back test an account with what I just said, where you just take the trades after the one that drops 90%, you could try to back test that. I'm just saying, the people with large accounts, they don't want to miss out on those 1,000% wins that come, which could be that first trade that you could miss out on, right? And also, they want to win more, Okay, the first win wasn't as big as the second win. Well, 2 fucking wins counts in the book, right? So I'm just sharing with you some information, man, that you can make a lot of fucking money off of with our overall systems, man. So 556 SPY calls for 53 cents a contract, right? That worked out phenomenal, right? Now take a look. 537 SPY puts for 58 cents a contract. 9:43 a.m. So you go to 537 puts right here, and we're going to go to 9:43 a.m. This is where we got in. We got in right here towards the exact lows. Look, we are in right here, and look, it went straight up. It went straight up. You would have been profit stopped out right around here at the 95 cent range. So 58 cents to 100 cents, 80% profit return, that's a phenomenal fucking win. That is 2 massive wins in a row. Now, in terms of our 0-day options trade alert system, this is another thing you need to be aware of. Make sure you're writing down everything I'm telling you because I'm giving you the best information to be using with our system. We have hundreds of members inside of Team Roar who have been using this system for over 2 years now. I'm literally providing to you the best information to use with our system, right? And also based on my experience as well, trading along G-Roar as well. And, my experience trading with the overall system X that G-Roar has provided. I'm telling you, man, when we have one big win or 2 small wins in a row, that means you're green enough to stop trading. So if you're green enough to stop trading, that means you should have hit somewhat of a goal where you can just walk away, wait to trade the next day. If you choose to keep on trading and not walk away, because you guys are well aware inside of Team Roar, if we have like 1 or 2 morning wins, we just keep on going, dude. Some days it's like 3 trades. Some days it's like fucking 5 to 10 trades. Some days it's fucking 8 to 15. We never fucking stop, right? In terms of trading, if you want to gain experience and you want to put yourself in the highest probabilities, trade fucking more. The quickest tell to tell if you're over trading is as you keep on trading throughout the day, the trades should be getting better. There's more confirmations, there's more chart histories, there's more overreactions, there's more bull and bear traps. If you choose to keep on trading, you should be getting better along with the experience that you previously had trading the same day in the price action. So one of the quickest ways to tell if you're over trading is if you're not getting better trading throughout the day, you're over trading. Another quick tell is very, very simple. Trade the best setups to the best prices. Try to make trades that appear to be better than your previous trades. If not, try to take trades that have the highest probabilities of making 1,000% returns. In terms of 0-day options, the highest percentage gains are typically during the market open, and then there's a quick period during the middle of the day. It could be towards like 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. But typically, market open, 10:30, 11:30 a.m. could be a quick period for a trade on that if you hold. And power hour trading session. but it's mainly that power hour trading session from 3:30 to 4 p.m. on SPX, and then the market open trades. I mean, if you hit a trend day at market open, you hold till close and it closes in your favor, that could be a 1 to 3,000% gain on SPY calls going super far out. So the point is, we had 2 wins in a row. If you choose to keep on trading, the most you risk, if you choose to keep on trading, you don't have to, 25 to 50% of your gains. As you keep on trading, if you ever get back 25 to 50% of your high of gains that you had on the day, then stop trading, because you're not going to go green to red on a day where you were green enough to walk away. You see that? That rhymes. Write that down. So make sure you are applying everything that I'm giving you with our overall system, man, because based off my experience and, in terms of us with the systems that we provide, this is the best information that you can possibly use at this time. And like I said, we've created the best zero-day options trading alert system. So we had 2 wins. We're all green enough to call it. And part of trading alongside us with the system is taking every trade starting from the market open, in terms of that situation where, if you're green enough to walk away, then call it for the day. Well, that starts with the first trade is what I'm telling you, right? That's what it starts with. So in that situation, the first 2 morning trades were green, you can walk away. This does not matter based off of everything I fucking said. The losses does not matter. The win rate does not matter. Also, if you trade zero-day options, it has the strongest foundation for you to be successful and profitable with the lowest win rate. If you take 3 trades and the first 2 trades are 100% losses each, that means on your third trade, having a 0% win rate, being down 200%, 2 losses in a row, 100% each. On that second trade, if you make over 200%, and everybody knows inside of Team Roar, every single day we're hitting 200% returns. Every single week we're in 1,000% returns. So if you just make a 200% return, 1 out of 3 trades, and the other 2 were losses with a 33% win rate, you're fucking profitable. Therefore, losing is a personal choice with a low win rate, and we have the highest win rate in the game because we have the best zero-day options trading alert system. We are the absolute best at trading zero-day options, and because we have the heart of cards. So with that being said, 556 SPY calls. This was red. This does not work out. This is a red circle. Red circle is a red trade. So that's red. So right there, that is 2 for 3 on the day, but green enough to walk away. First trade's printed. That's what fucking matters. Like I said, if we were to have 20 fucking losses after those first 2 green trades, it does not fucking matter, because if you use risk management, you are green enough to walk away. And you have to be trading starting with the system, which is at the market open, If we had market wins and then the trades after that were L's and you didn't take the market wins, that's your fucking fault, because we were green enough to walk away, and that's how the system works, man. So just make sure you're aware of that. So we had a trade, right here, literally 9:53 a.m., third trade within just fucking 23 minutes from market open, already 3 trades fucking in, man. Who the fuck is winning and printing this much? Absolutely fucking nobody, man. This is fucking insane. This was an L. We did have an L, right? So that's a 67% win rate. Now, we bounced back, 10:03 a.m. Look at this. We ended up buying 535 SPY puts. I told you, man, the more you trade, the higher probabilities. Plus, we have the highest win rate in the game. Not that we need it, because the gains are so fucking massive. This is Team Roar. These are the biggest percentage gains in the fucking market with the cheapest, lowest barrier to risk. Now, as you can see right here, 10:03 a.m., 535 SPY puts, 56 cents a contract. You go to 10:03 a.m., 535 puts. This is where we got in. Look, we got in right here. This is where we got in. And the puts quickly went up to 72 cents. You see that? They quickly went up to 72 cents. Later on throughout the day, they went to 90 cents. That is a phenomenal win. 3 for 4, 75% win rate. Would you look at that, man? 56 cents. And what did I tell you we do? We add to winners. Add to puts, add to puts, add to puts. Look, this is fucking phenomenal, man. What did I tell you in terms of the beginning of this video? I told you should have been bearish past 10 a.m. using my curriculum. Look at this. Fucking G-Roar. Right after the 30-minute candlestick closes, he's in fucking puts. This is absolutely fucking phenomenal. That deserves a gold star. That genuinely deserves a gold star. I'm very proud of that fucking trade. If you just looked at the overall curriculum that I provide to you, it was very, very clear in terms of the overall game plan that at 549 reacts as a resistance level. It's going to be a breakdown retest where the SPY sells off. And then as you could see, all we were doing was forming lower highs, spiking back up, breakdown, retest, lower highs, breakdown, retest, lower highs. This candlestick right here is red and bearish, sells off. This candlestick right here is red and bearish, sells off. So when this 30-minute candlestick, the opening of this is at 9:30 a.m., when it closed at 10 a.m. like this, red and bearish, just like it did right here, next 30 minutes is going to be bearish. Guess who alerted the fucking play? Fucking G-Roar, man. That right there is literally a prime example of using the curriculum and printing at the speed of fucking light, man. So G-Work called to play, 535 SPY puts, 56 cents a contract. I told you we add to fucking winners, add to winners, add to winners, add to winners. Look, this is a fucking loser. We were already green enough to walk away, and look, we're not adding to the fucking loser. You see that? This is the L. We're not fucking adding, right? The 30-minute candlestick closes red and bearish. So what do? We enter the fucking puts, man. That's what I'm fucking talking about, man. I'm telling you, your trades will be a lot better and more accurate if you wait for the 30-minute candlesticks to close and you take your trade right before the 30-minute candle closes, a couple minutes before it closes, because you know and have a sense where it's going to close. It's unlikely to flip last minute, but it could. But if you want to play it more safer or in general, you should be entering your trades a couple minutes before the 30-minute close or a couple minutes after the 30-minute open. That's when you should be entering your trades using the system that I provided, like this. 3 minutes after a bearish 30-minute closing candle into the opening of the next one. 1 minute chart was likely reacting bearish. Buying adds fucking puts. Massive fucking win, 75% win rate. Take a look. 10:20 a.m. 534 SPY puts for 48 cents a contract. 10:20 a.m., man. Look at the fucking play. 534 puts, 10:20 a.m., man. Who is showing you this? This many wins, this much consistency, every single fucking day? Absolutely fucking nobody. You guys know we're the absolute best. This is where we got in. We got in right here at 50. Look, it dropped to 25. We're down 50%. But look, it went up 50%. We're down 50. It goes up 50. We set a profit stop when we're up 15%. Move the profit stop up higher. You should have been profit stopped out right here in the 60. That is a phenomenal fucking win, not using stop losses. If you expect to time a trade perfectly and you're trading the trend, it's like, dude, this is the worst thing you could do. The worst thing you could do is trade the trend and use a stop loss. I'm telling you, people who trade the trend like we do, if they use a stop loss, that means that they size in very big. If you size in big, your stop is tight. If your stop is tight, you'll never be able to hold for big fucking wins. You'll be so fucking emotional, even if you're lucky enough to not get stopped out in attempt to hold for that big win. It's just not going to fucking happen, man. You're going to take your wins very fucking small, and your stop losses are going to eat away all your fucking profits, and your stop losses are going to give you so many fucking losses, where in that particular situation, you're going to miss out on some of the biggest wins within the market. Do you understand how many times I told you 7 out of 10 trades that drop 90% come back to life? There's not even a fucking point in trying to figure out the 3 that are not going to come back to life. So when we're down 50, 60, 70, and 90%, we can collect some fucking pocket change. There's no fucking point, man. The odds are in our favor. The win rate is in our favor, 7 out of 10. And sometimes those Z plays are going to go up multiple 100% to 1,000%. And it's like, dude, if you take the fucking L, you're not going to make the fucking gains. So don't fucking do that. Put in your max risk per trade into your trade. Size in smaller, add to winners, set profit stops. I'm giving you the best system that no other fucking trader out there is giving you. And I'm giving you the best game plans that no other trader out there is giving you, because this is what we do. We're self-taught. This is our curriculum. We have the heart of cards. This works. This prints non-fucking stop, man. So that is a phenomenal fucking trade, man. I'm telling you. Why the fuck, if you trade... Listen, man, I'm going to leave it off at this. We trade the trend. So if you trade the trend, that means you can hold. Now, in order to hold, you need to size in lighter. Your max risk per trade is what you put into trade. Most you lose what you put into the trade, right? In order to make big wins, you are going to need to hold longer, but you don't have to hold as long. Or if you want bigger wins as well, set profit stops, add to winners. But the point is, if you are trading the trend, why the fuck use a stop loss? You're going to get stopped out for a loss, and then when the trend kicks in, you're going to be like, dude, what the fuck? I thought it's like there's no if you use a stop loss and you trade the trend, you're not trading the trend. Even if you think you're on the right side of the trend, you're not trading the trend, man. Because if you're in on the overall trend and you get stopped out, you're not putting yourself in a position where you can hold with the trend. If it's going to be a bullish trend day, do you really expect every trade to be timed perfectly, man? It's like the entry doesn't even fucking matter. And this is another point. The reason why, like, okay, look, so the reason why, okay, so I'm gonna put this perspective on you. The entry doesn't matter, and this is why, right? Especially for medium to large accounts, right? Obviously, if it's a small account, a small cushion, you're gonna need all the odds and everything in your fucking favor. But for the most part, this doesn't, just listen, man. The entry does not matter. If we enter a play that drops 90%, it doesn't fucking matter. And the reason why it doesn't fucking matter is, we trade the trend 7 out of 10 times. That play is going to be a fucking winner if we just hold it. Now, is it going to be a massive fucking winner vast majority of the time? Likely not. because we didn't get the best entry, but it still could be a 100%, 200% win, which is a great fucking win, but very unlikely to be like 300 to 1,000% plus. But the point is, 7 out of 10 times it's going to be a fucking win. No fucking point in selling. And sometimes in 1 out of 7 of those times, it will be a 200, 300% win, right? So there's no fucking point in fucking selling, man. All the statistics and odds are in our favor, not just with the win rate, but with the big percentage gains. But the point I'm making here is, in that particular situation, right? In that particular situation, why would you put yourself in that situation to, not only miss out on that opportunity, but, just understand in that particular situation that if you get stopped out, you're going to be taken out. And also, it's just this. We buy a second strike. This is the point I wanted to make, right? Our entry doesn't matter because the play comes back to life 7 out of 10 times. And statistically, it makes sense to hold every time instead of trying to figure out the 3 times where it just doesn't work out and try to sell and cut for a loss below 50%. It just makes no fucking sense statistically because sometimes the trades go up 1,000%. And vast majority of the time, 7 out of 10 times going to win anyways. But look, the entry doesn't matter because of this as well. We buy a second strike. If we're down 50, 60, 70, 90%, we don't add to losers. We buy a second strike. The second strike, when we're right about the trend, tends to work, and we tend to time it at the exact fucking lows. So on that second strike, when we're right, vast majority of the time we are, it's going to be the biggest percentage gains, man. And we're taking cheap, low-risk positions, making many trades on the day. So it's like, it really doesn't fucking matter that the first trade dropped 90% because it's going to come back to life. But the second fucking trade is going to be towards the fucking lows, and it's going to give us such massive gains. And on that second trade, you can look to size in a little bit heavier, right? If you didn't take the first one, you could just look to get in on the second one, especially if you have a small account, man. But that's why the entry doesn't matter because of that second strike. That's why it doesn't matter with also just the understanding of 7 out of times it's going to come back to life. But in terms of people saying, well, you got in at 100 and the trade went to 200, but it dropped to 10 cents. If you got in at 10, you could have fucking made 2,000% instead of 100%. It's like, dude, instead of adding the 10, averaging our cost down, getting it to our average to like fucking 50 or 30 or whatever the fuck, we buy the second strike. The second strike is at the lows, and that's the one that hits like fucking crazy. If the first one doesn't hit like fucking crazy, the timing doesn't matter. The entry doesn't matter because the second play, the entry would be perfect if the first one wasn't, right? It's a system. You see, we broke the matrix. We cracked the code. We've created a system that is creating financial freedom for hundreds of traders. We are printing at the speed of fucking light. There's been hundreds of traders who've been with us for over 2 years now, man. So 534 puts, 10:20 a.m. I walked you through the play. It went from 50 to 20 to 70. You know what to do. You know what to say. You know what to do. Write down everything I'm telling you, man, because in terms of using our system, if you apply this information that I'm using to gain profits from the system as well, I'm telling you, you're going to gain so much experience in print with this fucking information. Apply it to your own trading as well. So 551 SPY calls for 62 cents a contract, 10:25 a.m. You go to 551 calls right here. You go to 10:25 fucking a.m. Look, this is where we got in. We got in right here. This consolidation, this is a nice little rip. The low is 49 cents. The high of the rip is 73 cents. That's a 50% profit return there. 50% return within fucking minutes, man. Look at that. Calls up 13 cents. You know what to do. Set the profit stops. That's another fucking win. You see how many wins we're fucking getting, man? Look at this. 10:42 a.m. 536 buy puts for 66 cents a contract, man. Do you understand, man? All we do is fucking win. All we do is print, and we win big, and we print at the speed of fucking light. There's not a single other trader out there or another private organization out there that has a zero-day options trade alert system that is printing as much as we are, as consistent as we are, and as big as we are, that actually has a trading system and not just buy and sell alerts. 536 buy puts for 66 cents a contract at 10:42 a.m. When you trade with us, you're really going to see that the entry is easy, the second strike is easy. The hardest part is not only holding, but just where the fuck to sell. It's like trading has become so easy. We've hit a point where the hardest part is literally just where to sell the fucking trade. But like I said, we have systems for that. Key levels to auto sell, profit stops, and moving the profit stops up higher. That's how you can find exits to sell as well. Auto exits to sell. So 536 buy puts for 66 cents a contract at 10:42 a.m. You go to these 532 puts. You go to 10:42 a.m. Look, we're in right here, time perfectly. Look at this, 27 cents to 44 cents. The pullback wasn't up until here. You're stopped out right here in the 38 cent range. That is nearly a 80% profit return at the speed of fucking light, man. How many more wins do you want in a row, man? All we do is win. All we do is fucking print, man. Look at the fucking results. The trades are going up like fucking crazy, man. 536 fucking puts, man. Like I said, 536 fucking puts. those fucking printed like crazy. Excuse me, the one I just showed you, that was 532. But if you do go to, like I said, 536, right? You could type it in right here. If you go to 536 puts on that overall trade, you are going to see this is where we literally got in right here at 10:42 a.m. We're in at the 60-cent range, and this one went up 100%. This one was closer in the money in a sense, right? So 10:42 a.m., 536 puts, right? We're in at 66 cents. This is where we got in, 10:42 a.m. at the exact fucking lows. And look, it went from 60 to 120. Your profit stopped out 100. That is a phenomenal fucking win. So let's go to the next trades, man. I'm telling you, look at this, breaking down the full trade. This is where we get in. This is where we get in. This is where we exit the trade, right? Profit stopped out as well. So as you can see, man, it's fucking phenomenal. Exited 554 puts there, man. We hold these trades for fucking long periods of time. 548 SPY calls for 55 cents a contract at 11:10 a.m. Look at how many fucking wins this is. And it's just the first hour and a half into the day. So 548 SPY calls. You go to 548 SPY calls. You're going to see this is where we got in. So if you look at the time right here, everything's alerted 100% real time. 11:10 a.m. You go to 11:10 a.m. This is where we're in. We're in right here towards the lows of this consolidation. It goes from 53 all the way to 79 cents in 3 single minutes. Your profit stopped out. As you can see, sometimes the trades drop right back down. Sometimes they keep on going straight up. You need to set the profit stops, and you need to move the profit stops up higher. Adding to winners increases the gains. That is another phenomenal fucking win. Calls up 22 cents. These are the option quote prices moving in 100% real time, doing all the work for you. Look at the next play. 549 SPY calls for 61 cents. Who do you know is having this many wins on a day, this consistent, winning this big? Also, I'm giving you the best game plan to make you self-sufficient with the best simple curriculum to use at the levels, printing nonstop at the speed of light day before the market opens. We provide the best systems for you. I provide to you the best game plans, the best education. GROAR is providing to you the most trades possible to literally be made in a day. My trades are more based off of educational reasons, which is another reason why I trade less on the day, typically 2 to 3 trades per day. I do take and follow some of the trades within Team Roar, especially if it makes sense with my overall, curriculum and education and overall game plans as well. It's like, dude, we have everything. In GROAR, he's putting non-fucking stop, dozens of fucking wins on the day, highest fucking win rate. I'm giving out the best educational trades with the market, providing the most self-sufficient game plans. We're doing everything. We have the best systems, best trading alert systems, best educational systems, best game plan systems. We have it all, and that makes you self-sufficient as well, trading alongside with us and getting access to all of that. So, 549 calls, 11:16 a.m. Who the fuck do you know is showing up every single day doing all this, man? All we do is win. All we do is print. Non-fucking stop. Unlimited fucking win. Unlimited fucking printing. So, right here, 11:16 a.m., man. Look at this. You go to 549 calls, 11:16 a.m. The low is at 62 cents. The high right there was 68 cents. And then it ended up dropping back down. Then it went to 97 cents. This consolidation, this is a move to 97 cents. That is another fucking win. The calls went from 60 to 90. That is a 50% plus profit return, man. Look at this. Green as fuck. 97 cents. Setting the fucking profit stops, man. Your profit stopped out in that 90-cent range, man. Fucking phenomenal. Breaking down the trade in real time. Selling at 100 mid-cents, man. Who do you know is winning that much? Do you understand? That was fucking 8 for 9, 7 for fucking 9. That was unlimited fucking winning, unlimited fucking printing. The first 2 trades were green enough to walk the fuck away. It's like, dude, losing is a personal choice. This is 2025. Do you understand what 2025 is? It is financial freedom. It is options give you options. Far the money options give you the most and unlimited options. It is multi-millionaires creating secure private organizations and the best zero-day options trading alert systems on the fucking planet so you can print and make money at the speed of light. It is a decades of trading experience showing you what it actually looks like. It's like, dude, there's absolutely no comparison. There is absolutely no comparison on this fucking planet. There is no other YouTube channel out there. There is no other, provider out there who is showing you what it is that I'm showing you every single day. And you really have to question, why is that? Why is that? I told you, man, we have over a decade of experience. We have the heart of cards. We have the best dynamic duo, the best fusion on the fucking planet. We are unfucking stoppable. Nobody can fucking stop us, man. And even when there is some sort of fall, we always come back stronger and fucking better and gain more experience. All we do is fucking win. All we do is fucking print, man. It's unlimited fucking winning, unlimited fucking printing. You will not find a single person or another private organization out there that is doing the way we fucking do it, man. Like I said, you find a group out there that's doing it how we do it, we will wire you $20,000 directly to your trading account because there's just no other fucking group out there And that is one thing that people do have to come acceptance to. You know, you don't have to join our group. You don't have to join our secured private organization. I mean, we do expect you to use the game plans, to use the curriculum and get fucking results and use all the gems I give you to your fucking advantage. You can try to apply your systems to your style of trading. You know, I've always been more of a technical trader, but G-Roar, he's the one who came along and helped add systematics to my trading. And those systematics are what I'm talking about in terms of not using stop losses, going further out of the money, cheap, low risk, setting profit stops, adding to winners, buying the second strikes. G-Roar is the one who really provided to the mechanics to my overall technical analysis curriculum, right? And that helped me level up like fucking crazy. And you could apply this to your curriculum as well. So we finally had an L right here, 551 SPY calls for 54 cents. That did not work out. Next trade, 537 SPY puts for 52 cents at 3:17 p.m. So you go to 537 puts at 3:17 p.m. You're going to see right here. This is the one we made earlier as well. As you can see right here, this is where we got in right here towards the low of this candle at 3:17 p.m. and it quickly went up to 76 cents. So 52 cents to 76 cents counts as a win. Now, in terms of this trade, it was in the middle of this candlestick and you had to get in a rapid fire. Sometimes that's how it plays out, where in terms of our profit stop, sometimes it happens immediately. That's why we always say to have your option chains open and ready and use market fucking orders. And by the way, Robinhood is auto selling a lot of people on SPY 0 dates past 3:30 p.m. So we do not recommend them as a broker, but you can trade SPX from 3:30 to 4 p.m. Another key thing to note about SPY 0 dates is you can hold them up until 4:15 p.m. during trading hour session, extra 15 minutes with the right broker. And if you watched last night's video, you should understand why that's a big deal, because SPY calls ended up going multiple 100% profit returns deep in the money right before after hours 0 date close off at 4:15 p.m. with a normal broker design to be trading 0 dates with. All things to keep a note of when trading with our system, right? So next trade, 538 SPY puts for 70 cents a contract at 3:46 p.m. Right? You go to 538 puts, and as you see, if we go to, I'm going to walk you through this right here. So let me walk you through this trade. So if you go to this overall trade, you're going to see right here, this is where we ended up getting in. We ended up getting in right here, 67 cents, and it quickly spiked to 115 cents. You see that? Within 5 minutes, the trade went up 100% and your profit stopped out at the speed of fucking light. So not only do you have to have your option chains open and ready to print, but you also have to have those profit stops ready to set when you're up 15% and also be ready to add to winners when we do add to those fucking winners. Now, 5410 SPX calls 4 minutes into the close. This play did not work out. So the YOLO did not work out, but that's completely fine because when we do risk 50 cents on SPX, we are typically making 200 to 500 cents, sometimes over 1,000 a contract. Therefore, it was worth taking. So that is 10 for 12 or 9 for 12 on the overall day. And those are all the gains that G-Roar ended up making. And like I said, man, it's just unlimited fucking printing and unlimited fucking winning, man. I mean, look at this, man. 1K day, William and G-Roar are the fucking goats. Ready to quit my 9 to 5 gentlemen. Like, dude, this is how we like our trades. We like our winning not only to be big and to be consistent, but we like it straight up, man. That's how we like our wins. Straight the fuck up. You see that? Straight up. That's how we like our wins. Only way your portfolio is going to look like that with big gains, fire the money 0 day options. Cheapest, lowest risk way to trade. Unlimited fucking winning. Unlimited fucking printing. Right? Look at this, man. $8,500 profit. Swing trading puts. $8,591 profit. Fucking trades are paying off inside of our secured private organization, man. Non-stop winning. Non-stop fucking printing, man. Fucking amazing, man. Absolutely fucking amazing, man. We had someone go against the overall game plan, go against the overall trades, man. Ended up taking a hit on his account, you know, with SPY call options. So it is what it is, man. But like I said, it's unlimited fucking printing, unlimited fucking winning. Look at this $1,500 profit, 536 puts. So look, man, I explained to you the system. On Fridays, we don't just trade 0 dates on SPY and SPX. On Fridays, there's going to be 0 dates on, you know, a lot of the large cap stocks, right? So we're going to be trading stocks as well on Fridays. So I would encourage you to get in. And Fridays tend to be our absolute best trading days where we close out the week very, very strong within the green. And in terms of this game plan that we have setting up, it's just going to be such an easy day and very lucrative to be making money. And you guys already know that we provide to you the best game plans and the best levels to become self-sufficient and make money before you even join the group. But at the end of the day, in terms of trading, who is creating the curriculum? Who is creating the game plans? Who is creating the systems? Who has decades of experience? You know, who's a multimillionaire? It's like, dude, we will give you the best trades. You know, we're aware. We give you the best game plans. We give you the best content. We give you the best levels. But at the end of the day, it's like we want to show you that we give you the best trades with our levels in our curriculum, and we give you the best trades. And the way we define the best trades is how we used our system, which I already explained to you. I'm not going to be going all over it again. If you listen to everything I fucking said, you should have a good understanding and glimpse of how our system works. But it's just like I said, man, putting ourselves in the cheapest, lowest risk, lowest barrier entries to make the biggest percentage gains in the market with the proper risk management systems instilled, with the proper ways to hold the trades till zero, max risk per trade, risk management 101, with the proper ways to increase wins without risking more. If we're risking 1R multiple, how could we add 2 to 3R multiples without risking any of those R multiples? When we're green on a trade, it's impossible to go to red because when we're up 15%, we set a profit stop and we quickly add to winners, right? So losing's a personal fucking choice. And you could detach some of the size to leave runners to sell deep in the money. It's like, dude, join the group. If you are serious about gaining access to a real-time zero-date options trading alert system, the best trades available within the zero-date options trading market. And on Fridays, we do trade stocks, right? Because that's when they're going to have their zero dates, right? And we trade SPY and SPX at all times. We trade SPY in the morning all throughout the day. And then we trade SPX from 3:30 to 4 p.m. That's the best time to trade SPX. If you take a look at Robinhood right now, even the way Robinhood is structured is the system that GROAR created. And GROAR is the one who put my educational company on, Trader Society, to this overall system where in terms of 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. if you go on Robinhood, you're going to see you can't trade SPY zero dates after 3:30 p.m. You can't enter a position, but you can trade SPX from 3:30 to 4 p.m. And GROAR is the one with the system that he created from the mechanics that I now use in my trading, right? He says just trade SPX from 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. And if you look on Robinhood, that's when you could trade SPX from, the time you can't trade SPY is the time where it allows you to trade SPX. But you could trade SPX before then, but it's much more expensive, so we trade SPY, right? Cheap, low risk, lowest barrier to entry, biggest percentage gains, most trades on the day, highest probabilities to make 1,000% with the highest win rate. It's like, dude, that's how we're able to win so much. Before I end this video, right, and head back to my secure private organization, I'm going to end it off with this. The way we're able to win so big and so much in just a single day or a single fucking week is how the system is structured. Think about it. The position sizes are lighter, you know? Our max risk per trade is the most we put into the trade. The most we lose is what we put in our max risk per trade. So if the contract goes to zero, expires worthless, the most we lose is a couple percent of our account. You can risk 2, 3%, 5% of your account. Do not recommend going over 5%. If you do, 10% max. But you shouldn't be risking more than 5% of your account on a single trade, right? So if you're risking 5% on a trade, every time you make 100% on that trade, every time you're up 100% a trade, you're making 5% of your account, which is a fuck ton. I'm telling you, pull out a compound interest calculator, do 3 to 6%. What you need to understand is the way we're able to win so big without taking massive sizes is we're making a lot of cheap, low risk trades that adds up to a fuck ton of trades every single week, right? So we're making a lot of trades and we're having the highest win rate with these trades, right? We have the highest win rate trading zero-date options, not that we need it, because we could be successful with a 30% win rate, right? Even potentially lower than that, because we're hitting 1,000% wins every single day. If you make a 1,000% win, if you make a 1,000% win, you could have 9 losses in a row. 1,000% win, you're up 100%, you're still profitable. 1 to 10% win rate. Every single week, there's at least one trade where we make and sell for a 1,000% win. But man, we figured out a way to literally risk as little as possible, cheap, low risk, to make the biggest gains in the market. And I told you, cheap, low risk trades, biggest percentage gains, buying far the money, selling deep in the money, leaving runners to sell deep in the money, right? Many trades, higher probabilities to win more. Many trades, more wins, more gains. Many trades, higher probabilities to make the biggest percentage gains, more percentage returns. When we're down on a play, we buy the second strike, tends to be timed perfectly, tends to work out like fucking crazy. If the first one isn't timed properly, it comes back to life, still fucking wins, just not as big as the second fucking one. It's like, dude, adding to winners, doubling and triple the gains, setting the profit stops, doing everything I just fucking said, you are going to be in a situation where it's the cheapest, lowest risk, biggest gains in terms of the gains. With these smaller position sizes, it's the biggest gains you will ever see in a market. All of the multimillionaires who day trade, especially options, have optimized for this system. Like I said, we've tested and experimented anything. For those of you who day trade zero-date options, feel free to try and let us know if there's something we could add to the system to make it fucking better. But in terms of what we have, it's fucking golden, man. Do you understand? There's literally other companies trying to make fake fucking brands and fake fucking companies, whether they're just fucking live streaming or whether they're just fucking taking our plays or whether they're just waiting for us to be down 90% on a play and then do the opposite or then buy a second strike following our side. It's like, dude, What's going on with far out of the money zero date options is fucking insane. That's why I'm telling you, if you are involved with a zero date options trading alert company, make sure they are fucking transparent and doing everything in real fucking time. Because I'm telling you, I can give you a list of fucking companies who are trying to build companies and build fake fucking brands off of our fucking blood with all the fucking information that I'm fucking providing to you, dude. I can give you a list of fucking names of people who are doing it. And some of them are literally making like thousands of dollars a fucking month doing this shit. It's like, dude, we are the absolute fucking best. We are the most secure private organization on the fucking planet. So many fucking people are trying to fucking leech off of us, trying to fucking steal off our fucking system, trying to make their own fucking companies and brands off our fucking system. Some of them are trying to do it different ways where they're trying to live stream our fucking trades. Some of them are making systems where if we're down 50% on a play, then they take the opposite. Or if we're down 50, 90%, then they take a second strike before we do. It's like, dude, it's fucking crazy what you can do creating a system on something that gives you unlimited fucking options. We have the best system. We're the fucking best. Nobody is doing or showing you what it is that I'm fucking showing you, man. I'm telling you, it's fucking wild, man. Fucking bottom feeders, fucking thieves, fucking scammers. It's like, dude, I'm telling you, if you're involved with a zero-day options company, make sure they are transparent as fucking possible. Everything we do is 100% real fucking time. There's people using this information, everything I've given you, to their own fucking advantage somehow, some fucking way in this fucking industry, man. So, if you're serious about making money and trading alongside with us, it's the first link down below in the description. This is the cheapest, lowest risk way to turn hundreds of dollars into thousands of dollars. Cheapest, lowest risk way to turn thousands of dollars into tens of thousands of dollars. Cheapest, lowest risk way to turn tens of thousands of dollars into hundreds of thousands of dollars, man. It's the first link down below within the description. On our best days, the gains, percentage-wise, add up to 2,000 to 5,000%. On our best green days, if you take all the fucking trades with the losses included, you can make 2,000 to 5,000% returns, man. I already explained to you, if you put in 5% of your account into each fucking trade, that means every time it goes up 100%, you're up 5% on your account, right? So if you pull out a compound interest calculator on your fucking account and you do 3 to 6%, you're going to be mind blown on the fucking results. 100 days of fucking consistency changes your fucking life 3 to 6 months in terms of trading. So risk less. This is one thing I want to end off this fucking video. If you're in this group, you're blessed enough to not only be in here, but to fucking find this group, because this is the hidden gem of zero-day options trading alert system. I mean, you can tell we give the best game plans, but like in terms of the marketing and stuff like that, you can tell over here, we're focused on fucking trading, right? Not certain fucking thumbnails, not fucking marketing, all those advertisements. We fucking trade. We make money trading. We fucking trade. That's our fucking focus, right? If I wanted to focus more on social media and doing all this other stuff, I could focus more on the business side. I could do that if I really wanted to put my mind and do that. But for those of you who followed this channel from day fucking one, you are well aware the way I've always been is just to trade. This is how I run my channel. I could always change it the way I want to fucking change it if I want to try to grow this to more massive. But look, man, vast majority of our members stay fucking with us. So over time, we get fucking massive and it compounds like fucking crazy because 90% of our members stay with us. Only 10% leave monthly. That is the lowest, losing rate in terms of losing customers. And that is the highest that's the lowest churn rate. That is the lowest churn rate base. Losing 10% in a financial niche, especially in a niche where 98% of traders lose money, especially in a niche where, like I said, man, when you trade with us, you're going to have to rewire your brain. You're going to have to rewire the way you trade because everything we're doing is the complete fucking opposite, man. We're not using stop losses. We're holding the trades. We're adding to fucking winners. We're doing the complete opposite of what everyone else you know is fucking doing. It's going to take time to click, but once you get our format, you can print like fucking crazy. It's not going to work out for everyone, but it's unlimited fucking printing and unlimited fucking winning, man. You need to understand it's an absolute blessing to not only be watching these videos and to gain experience and to apply the curriculum into self-sufficiency. This took me over a fucking decade to fucking figure out. I started an educational company, and in terms of the student who I hired, G-Roar was a student inside of my educational company where I would live stream, teach the curriculum, give out my trades in real time. Then we created Team Roar, and in terms of Team Roar, the number one focus on Team Roar is creating the best zero-day options trading alert system to consistently make other traders money, and people can use our system, in terms of like as a confirmation. There's many ways to use the system. Like I said, this is not just trade alerts where you're blindly following. This is a strategic fucking system. The system is so fucking strategic and so fucking amazing that other fucking companies are trying to create systems out of our fucking systems or trying to steal in some fucking way so they can build a business off our fucking blood, off our fucking brand. It's like, dude, who the fuck do you know prints like us, man? So it's a true blessing to be alive in times like this. And like I said, G-Roar is a student. I had over 2,000 students who joined my paid group, Trader Society. He is the student who I hired. And he's created the best zero-day options trading alert system on the fucking planet. He uses some of the curriculum that I've taught him. And he's created the fucking mechanics to that overall fucking system, man. So in terms of what the vast majority of, from what people have learned from me is the 30-minute chart, how to trade the chart, the technicals to fucking trading, the daily chart foundation, the 30-minute chart foundation, and the curriculum and the levels and the game plan and becoming self-sufficient, right? G-Roar has, come along, and I'm telling you, man, he makes the most amount of trades, the most amount of fucking wins. He doesn't just use the curriculum. He uses the heart of cards. It's like, dude, the intuition is there. It's like, it's unlimited fucking printing. It's unlimited fucking winning. Intuition, heart of cards. I've never seen another trader make this many trades on a day with this fucking win rate, man. Like I said, my trades have always been educational focused. G-Roar focuses on the heart of cards with intuition, and he does apply the curriculum as well, puts all the odds to stack everything within your favor. But G-Roar is on a level in terms of intuition and heart of cards where he'll literally just make entries and trades based off of heart of cards and intuition. I always try to keep my entries as of now focused on educational reasons with the game plan, but he's in situations where it's purely based off of intuition. I've always kind of structured my kind of trading where it's more educational on the entries with my game plans and levels and confirmations, and then I try to keep that intuition as I'm holding the trade. But in terms of G-Roar, when he answers a fucking trade, it could literally just be solely based off of like intuition, heart of cards, the momentum of the overall play, man. But of course, he does apply the curriculum as well, like the gap close reversal trading strategy. I mean, the foundation of my educational company was the gap close reversal trading strategy. That is one of the best technical trading strategies and foundations that you can use in the overall market. The auto buy level that I gave you yesterday was 539 to 540. That was the exact lows on the SPY where it had the biggest bounce on the overall day. I mean, if you went back through the overall video, I made it clear. The auto buy level was 539 right here. There was a gap right here at 540, and there was key support at 539. This was the zone to auto buy calls, and then as you can see, massive moves up, massive moves up, massive moves up, and it quickly went from 540 to 546, and then it flipped bearish, breakdown, retest, red bearish candlestick, using the curriculum, sells off, right? Breakdown, retest, red bearish candlestick, red, green, red, sells off, red, green, red, sells off. Listen, man, if you want to trade with the absolute best, and you want to see something that you've never seen before, you want to see what a decade of experience looks like, you want to see what unlimited fucking winning and printing looks like, you want to trade alongside us, you want to print non-fucking stop, we got the best trades, man. You already know watching the content, we got the best game plans, we got the best curriculum, but we trade the absolute best with the curriculum, with the game plans, and with the heart of cards, with the intuition. So if you're serious about making this your best Friday ever, I'm telling you, this is the best time to fucking join us. It is the first link down below in the description. We are strongly considering as well raising the price within some time here, man. We are extremely underpriced. I mean, we are priced at a very, very fair price. We could charge a lot more if we wanted to. I mean, if you get it at this price, you're grandfathered in at that overall price. But within time, we will raise the price. And then once we do raise the price, maybe as we're raising the price higher and higher, maybe we will consider a promo code. But at this time, this is the price, and this is the best and lowest price it'll ever be, right? And the price has never been lower than this, and it will never be lower than this. And this is a very fair value price. It's not too high, and it's not too low, and it's priced low enough where small accounts can still grow with the system. I'm telling you, man, another thing if you want to experiment with, just trade with one contract. I'm telling you, you can just trade with one contract, make multiple trades on the day, trade every single day with us. You can turn, just trading with one contract, you can make $2,000 to $4,000 in profits every single month with a small account. It is possible, man. Just with 1, 2, or 3 contracts. Do it. Experiment with for yourself. Gain experience. Apply yourself. We have so many traders. We have hundreds of traders who have been with us for 2 years now. And we have a lot more traders than that who've been joining, right? And like I said, only 10% leave. It's the lowest churn rate in terms of financial niche. Financial niches usually have a 25% churn rate. So if you get 100 members, usually 25 will leave every single month. But with us, it's the lowest churn rate because people are optimizing for a system. They're like, dude, this is a company that is dedicated and motivated to show up every single fucking day to have the best fucking system, man, where there's just no fucking comparison. Like I said, we are devoted to making the cheapest, lowest risk, highest winning, and highest, biggest percentage gain system for you guys. And on our best days, it yields to 2,000 to 5% days, man. It's fucking crazy what you can do with our system. So it's the first link down below in the description if you want to get started to change your life and to create that financial freedom for yourself, man, because that's what we're doing. We are providing financial freedom, and we are providing the best systems to make people money. And the way to become a better trader is to trade. And if you train alongside us, you're going to gain a lot of experience. You will get something out of this. Even if it doesn't work out for you regardless, You will gain a lot of experience. There's plenty of great traders in here. There is multimillionaires in here who do drop their analysis in their plays, and you can network alongside the traders within our community as well. It's unlimited fucking printing and it's unlimited fucking winning. I would strongly recommend, if you are serious about making money, to join right now. The group is at all-time highs in memberships. We are printing non-fucking stop. It is unlimited fucking winning. It is unlimited fucking printing. And let's be real, man. Who do you know is giving you the information that I provide to you? Who do you know has the highest win rate with the most amount of trades, trading 0-8 options on their biggest day, where it has up to 2,000, 5,000% gains, even with losses factored in? It's like, dude, we're the absolute fucking best. If you're serious about gaining access to our real-time 0-8 options trade alert system, to our trades, and to our secured private network and community, it's the first link down below within the description. We are going to absolutely crush it heading into tomorrow, especially with the plays on my radar as well, with the stock plays for Friday 0-8s that I've not disclosed in this video. So it's the first link down below in the description if you want to trade alongside with us and join starting tomorrow.